Once upon a time, in a valley tucked between two soft green hills, there stood an ancient forest. The trees were tall and wise. The rivers sang lullabies. And in the very heart of the forest stood a tree unlike any other. It was called the Whispering Tree. No one knew how old the Whispering Tree was. Some said it had been there before the stars learned to twinkle. Others believed it had been planted by the wind itself. But everyone agreed on one thing: the tree could whisper. Its whispers were gentle, like wind brushing over water. It spoke only to those who listened with a kind heart and a truthful soul. Not far from the forest, in a quiet village with sloping roofs and flower-filled windows, lived two siblings, a boy named Ramesh and his little sister Shriya. Ramesh was 9, clever and curious. Shriya was 3, full of laughter and questions. They were the best of friends, always sharing, always exploring. One golden morning, their grandmother told them a story. She said, "Long ago, a brave child once heard the whispering tree speak. The tree gave that child a special promise, a light so pure it could guide even the most lost heart back home. But only those who truly listened could hear it." Ramesh sat up. "Is the tree still there, Grandma?" Grandma smiled and nodded. "But the forest has grown shy. It only opens paths to children with good hearts." That night, while stars blinked above, Ramesh whispered to Shriya, "Let's find the tree." Shriya clapped softly. "And hear it whisper." The next morning, with a small cloth bag, a bottle of water, and peanut butter sandwiches made by Amma, the two siblings set off. They followed a winding path that grew narrower and greener with every step. Birds chirped like cheerful guides. As they entered the forest, the air changed. It smelled of moss and magic. Shriya looked up. "Are the trees watching us?" Ramesh whispered, "Maybe. Let's be kind." Soon they met a rabbit with golden whiskers. "Where are you going?" the rabbit asked. "We want to find the whispering tree," said Ramesh. The rabbit twitched his ears. "Only those who help others find the path." Shriya tilted her head. "Can we help you?" "My burrow is blocked by thorns. I cannot go home." Together, Ramesh and Shriya knelt down. Ramesh used a stick to gently lift the thorns. Shriya cleared tiny leaves with her fingers. Within minutes, the burrow was open. The rabbit bowed. "You have kind hearts. Go east, where the leaves turn silver." As they walked, the trees rustled. The path glowed faintly. Shriya hummed a song Amma used to sing. Birds flew overhead like tiny messengers. Further along, they found a squirrel crying. "What's wrong?" asked Shriya. "My acorns fell into the stream," the squirrel sobbed. Without hesitating, Ramesh rolled up his pants and stepped into the cool water. Shriya pointed from the shore. "There's one, Paya," she cheered. They gathered the acorns and placed them carefully beside the squirrel. The squirrel's eyes sparkled. "Turn when the sun touches the tallest pine." At that moment, a single ray of sunlight streamed through the trees, hitting the tallest pine at a sharp angle. Ramesh took Shriya's hand. "That's our way." As the forest grew deeper, they passed a patch of silence. No birds, no wind, just hush. Shriya looked nervous. "Where are we?" A voice floated in the air, soft and trembling. "I am the lost wind. Long ago, I broke a promise and was trapped here." "What was the promise?" Ramesh asked. "I promised to return a feather to the sky, but kept it for myself." Shriya opened her cloth bag and pulled out a bright feather she had found that morning. "Is this yours?" The wind shivered. "Yes." Gently, Ramesh held up the feather. The wind whooshed past, light and joyful. The trees sighed with relief. "You may go forward," whispered the wind. "You are true." And just like that, a hidden path opened between two thick trees. At its end stood a tree so wide and tall it seemed to hold the sky. Its bark shimmered like moonlight. Its leaves were every shade of green. At its base, there was no door, no sign, just silence. Ramesh stepped forward. Are you the whispering tree? For a moment there was nothing. Then the leaves rustled. I am, the tree whispered. Shreya leaned in. Can you really talk? Yes, but only when kindness is near. The tree glowed faintly, like moonlight touching water. You brought kindness to the rabbit, help to the squirrel, honesty to the wind. You have listened, you have earned the promise of light. A golden fruit appeared on one of the lowest branches. It glowed gently. This fruit is not for eating, it is for remembering. When you hold it, you will feel courage. When you share it, others will remember their truth. Ramesh reached up and gently picked the fruit. It was warm and light. The tree whispered again. The light will guide not your feet but your hearts. Thank you, the children said together. As they turned to leave, the forest began to sing. Leaves danced, flowers bloomed. The way home was clear. Back in the village, they placed the golden fruit in a small wooden box on their shelf. Every time someone felt sad or confused, they held the fruit, and somehow they felt braver, calmer, kinder. Shreya once asked, Will the tree whisper to us again? Ramesh smiled. Yes, as long as we keep listening. And so they did. Every week they visited the forest. Sometimes they helped a bee find its hive. Sometimes they just sat and listened. The tree never spoke loudly, but its whispers shaped their days. As they grew older, the golden fruit remained. Not for display, not for pride, but for sharing whenever someone needed light. And deep in the forest, the whispering tree stood tall, waiting for the next kind heart to listen. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and share video with your kids and family and friends.